Yo, what's good, YouTube? I'm back with another reaction video, and we doing this documentary. Yeah, we here finally. They got this documentary, the Sweet 16 Championship Season movie, the Boston Celtics 1985-1986 documentary. We here with the first one. Got 3 more coming though, y'all. But yeah, we definitely here with this first documentary. I just want to say shout out to all of y'all. Appreciate all the love and support. It's gonna keep going up, man. Keep dropping these library videos. I'm definitely loving it and learning so much from y'all in these videos and everything. I just want to take the time. I always appreciate y'all, man. And yeah, you know, I keep it short and sweet. About to get right into the video. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that like button and let's get it, man. We writing this documentary. So hopefully everybody, I'm gonna just say, hopefully everybody wanna, you know, it's pretty long, so we'll get right into it. I can see it's 46 minutes, but hey, this is what we're here for, right? This is what we definitely here for. Finally, first documentary dropping right now. Let's get it.
Boston, the cradle of American independence. Yet a springtime tour of the Freedom Trail succumbs to a more patriotic city ritual.
What's still on the Celtics then?
Again, everybody, this is Johnny Most, high above courtside, here at the Boston Garden, where the Boston Celtics and the Houston Rockets get ready for basketball battle in game number 1 of the World Series of Basketball, the NBA Finals. And I want to tell you, both of these ball clubs are at least talk ready.
2 teams competed for basketball's greatest reward. One sought its first crown, while the other already possessed 15. Another would be a confirmation of its greatness. A glorious Sweet 16. After a 64-game absence, Chicago's Michael Jordan hastened his return to play. Doubters were astonished by his opening round playoff performance against the Celtics. In Game 2, Jordan bewildered Boston to break Elgin Baylor's single-game scoring record.
Michael on the drive across the lane, turnaround shot, got it! 63 for Jordan! A new NBA record has been set in the Boston Garden.
For 3 games, Jordan humbled his competition, but the same couldn't be said of his teammates as Boston swept Chicago. By sidestepping Jordan's heroics, the Celtics seemed primed, but bigger challenges lay ahead. In Atlanta was an upstart team led by a budding superstar. Dominique Wilkins, the MVP runner-up and scoring champ, soared above the competition with unparalleled majesty.
I haven't quite had the sensation that he's had of getting up above the rim as high as he does, okay? I missed it by a little bit. But I would imagine that if you can do that, that it's something else being up there. And that might get me excited, okay, if I was up there.
Excitement certainly wasn't lacking with the NBA's Coach of the Year. The frenetic Fratello directed his young squad to the league's biggest turnaround and perhaps an NBA record in enthusiasm. One of the secrets was an eyeball-to-eyeball trust in 5'7" Spud Webb, basketball's most captivating new addition. All comers with his unequal blend of quickness and leaping ability. He was the perfect point guard for Fratello's push-it-up philosophy. And on the move, Spud was simply uncatchable.
Oh, maybe we okay. I know about Spud Webb, but I should definitely do some of his highlights, huh? Maybe down there in the future. But yeah, I definitely should do some Spud Webb, man. I actually kind of forgot about him a little bit. But yeah, let's get back into it.
Behind Spud, Atlanta beat Detroit and looked to continue their razzle-dazzle against Boston. But a stifling Celtic defense surrendered just one game and finished the series with a devastating 33-point rout
Yeah, I thought they performed great, the team. I really did. I was not disappointed in our performance. Listen, I love this team. They played hard, gave whatever they had. We were just a little bit short tonight.
Atlanta's setting sun radiated confidence in Boston. The playoffs were an apparent breeze, and smooth sailing continued in the Eastern Finals with 2 wins over the Milwaukee Bucks. By Game 3, the Boston Celtics were impressive winners in 9 of 10 playoff contests. Would Milwaukee be the place for a letdown? Clearly, the answer was no. The Celtics thrashed the Bucks in waves, inundating them with their brilliant team passing. Boston played with blackboard perfection and forced Milwaukee to call on the injured Sidney Moncrief. Heroically, Moncrief pioneered a Bucks rally to pull them even at 90 all. But Moncrief's effort was mirrored by Boston's own miracle worker, Larry Bird. Despite double coverage, Bird outwitted Milwaukee for the remainder of Game 3, then slammed the door in the final quarter of Game 4 with 4 3-pointers. By sweeping Milwaukee, Boston's title drive seemed as relentless as a runaway freight train. Winning became an obsession, a tribute to head coach K.C. Jones. K.C. embodied the famed Celtic dynasty with 8 NBA titles as a Boston guard. Today, he breathes that same inspiration to his players.
Winning is the real motivator.
Damn, 8 titles? Damn, I know y'all see me keep looking over as I have my phone. And I also got some stuff, groceries coming, so I'm just checking to make sure they're not saying nothing to me. But damn, he had 8 titles, man. Oh, damn, okay.
You come back out and then you squint your eyes and you get that killer look on your face, because this is a game you love and you hate losing, and you love winning, and you want no one coming in and beating you, because it's a terrible feeling if they do.
In his first year as coach, K.C. brought Boston a title and good vibrations.
You know, my friend's head coach, you know, and it was really crazy, and it was fun because I never ever felt that I had anything to say that I couldn't say to K.C.
My favorite thing about K.C. is the person, the man off the court. A very unique guy.
On the eve of the NBA Finals, K.C. was resonant with the sound of success.
Growing old, I said the world is the same. You'll never change.
The NBA, where caring happens.
Second on the clock. Sampson. It goes. It's over. A miraculous shot by Ralph Sampson. Off balance has given the Houston Rockets the Western Conference Championship and a trip to Boston for the NBA World title.
It's over. #1 in the West.
Dramatically, youth defeated experience, but Bill Fitch knew of the great task that awaited in the Boston Garden.
It's a great place to visit, but it's not a great place to go and play basketball. They don't take any prisoners over there.
After a 5-year absence, the Rockets re-emerged in the NBA Finals. Once more, a championship path would lead them to the revered Boston Garden.
The Garden reeks of tradition, and you go in there, and I think not only psychs up the fans and the Celtics, but I think it also kind of makes the other players a little leery of where they're playing. And they not only have to beat the Celtics, they have to, in a way, beat the Garden jinx.
The Boston Garden is Boston Celtic basketball. That's it. You don't get better than that. I mean, where else can you go in the NBA and find anything like the Boston Garden? Nowhere.
Do not build a new garden. If you're going to build a new garden, just renovate this one. This is why we've got more flags than any other city in the country.
The Boston Garden is a curious mix, void of modern conveniences, but equipped with a brash personality.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I got a question for y'all. So how do y'all feel about when Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce won the championship and won the title at that time? Like, how do y'all feel? I know a lot of y'all like Larry Bird and stuff, but like, how do y'all feel about that time? Like, leave it in the comments and let me know how y'all felt. Like, let me know how y'all felt.
Johnny most high above courtside.
Houston doesn't have
the Lakers
Magic.
are not here. Magic is not here. Akeem.
Damn, it's crazy because I always heard his voice, and I just want to know what he looked like. I thought he was an older guy, but damn, okay. So you see, that's why I love watching these documentaries, man, because now you can see, like, you know, really see everything that happened. So let's get it.
Is and he will do nothing.
The Garden is also humbling as it weeps basketball's most cherished memories.
You know, I love that place, and I look at the banners each and every time, each and every game, and look at the retired numbers, and look around and see Red Auerbach sitting over there, seeing all the other fans who have been there throughout the entire string of Celtic championships, and to realize that now I'm a part of that, and although we haven't won the championship yet, you know, we think we're going to.
By game time, the Garden's aging frame comes alive with the throbbing pulse of its fans. Their appetite is the NBA Finals, whetted by the prospect of another title. The series began predictably. The Rockets struggled with first-game jitters and directed play to their tallest strength. It was also no surprise that the Celtics' strategy was to do the same and attack Houston's big men.
Push! Robert, ISO!
By using a double low post, Boston muscled the ball inside. This grinding process paid off just 5 minutes into Game 1 as Ralph Sampson picked up 3 quick fouls. For the rest of the half, Sampson would watch from the sidelines. His absence erased Houston's decided height advantage as well as team stability. The Rockets pressed to pick up the tempo, hoping to catch Boston off guard. Instead, it would be the Rockets who were upended. Their quickened pace played into the hands of the Celtics, who thrived on critical matchups, and Houston's overplayed defense. The Celtics were in top form and showed no ill effects from an 8-day layoff. Almost effortlessly, Boston opened a comfortable second quarter lead. Eleven of Boston's 15 championships began with opening game victories, and Houston looked like another victim. Until Akeem. The Houston center proved too mobile, too quick for Boston defenders. His powerful drives earned him the respect and room to unleash his tantalizing jump shot. Behind Akeem's 25 points, Houston cut the Celtics' margin to just a basket by halftime and followed through in the third quarter. Akeem grew stronger and forged Houston into the lead. The Celtics' only recourse was to attack Akeem's lone weakness.
Foul. Two-shot play. 34 in the red on a push.
Akeem was charged with his fourth foul.
You fouled him.
He remained in the game, but seconds later, he'd earn a fifth. Now a different Rocket would sit on the bench, and Celtic fans were salivating. The call went out to the most notorious band of desperados in the NBA, the Celtic defense. The Celtics assumed every risk, using an assortment of traps, denying passing lanes, intimidating shots, soon forcing Houston to make their own mistakes. By the fourth quarter, Boston amassed a 15-point lead, and they were determined not to ease up. Bill Fitch's men were stumbling, and Danny Ainge put them on the ropes. Ainge was a mere role player when Fitch coached in Boston, but today he stands as a Celtic leader. Ainge recorded a superb second half, and fittingly, he would put Houston down for the count. Boston's 112-100 victory demoralized the Rockets and rewarded the Celtics with some personal pride.
I feel that I didn't play very well when Bill Fitch was around, and I feel that he didn't think I was a very good player at certain times, and I want to prove to him that I can play.
Well, the thing about Danny Ainge, he matured as a basketball last year in the playoffs. He was a good player, but he wasn't really a type of player where you could depend on him every game. He was never one on a consistent basis like he was this year or last year in the playoffs. We're not afraid to give the ball to Danny Ainge in any circumstances anymore.
I think when I first came here, an attitude that I had was, it was almost, I felt guilty shooting the ball, being surrounded by all those all-stars and that type of attitude. I think that since then I've adjusted to take that to my advantage. I'm playing with these all-stars. I can afford to take a couple bad shots and they're going to still cover me.
Ainge became a Celtic after a brief baseball career. Now, 5 years later, he finally feels at home in Boston.
Hi, Ash. How you doing?
Man, I ain't gonna lie, that sweatsuit he wearing kind of fly, man. I have to look for something like that. I like that colorway and everything. That sweatsuit he got on, that joint's fly, yo. But to get me one of them, I know they probably don't got it now, but maybe you can find it somewhere. But I ain't gonna lie, that joint is nice. That joint is fly, man.
With these all-stars, I can afford to take a couple bad shots and they're gonna still cover me.
Ainge became a Celtic after a brief baseball career. Now, 5 years later, he finally feels at home in Boston.
Hi, Ash. How you doing? What, am I supposed to pick all you guys up or what? Hey, Tanner.
We've got a lot of friends who are from the West that have moved out here. You get a lot of relocations.
Damn, I love just seeing kids, man. Y'all know I got a son, and I just so love, man. That's just so lovely, man. That's just so lovely.
So that's nice. But I think what helps us like New England the best is that Danny's a Celtic. I mean, when you're a Celtic, you pretty much have it made.
Boston recognized Ainge as a firebrand, but his combative style prompted the visiting press to write some unflattering copy.
I get really mad. I said, Danny, I'm calling that guy up and telling him that he can't...
I ain't gonna lie, you got a beautiful wife. Shout out to her, man. Got a beautiful wife.
Saying those kind of things, and Danny begs me not to.
I think sometimes things that are said on TV, it bothers Michelle because she knows me and she knows that I'm not ever going to go out and start a fight with anybody. But on the other hand, she knows that if somebody got me, I'm not gonna just back away either. I think it has more to do with my style of play. People misinterpret it as being dirty and cheap. I just think I play hard. You know, I feel that my teammates and my coaches appreciate me, and my opponents don't appreciate me, and that's okay. I mean, that's the way I want it. I don't want the players I'm playing against to play against me.
An icy indifference to the opposition has promoted Boston's winning ways, an intensity rooted in the Celtic training room.
Let the playoffs go on. Ray's tape jobs get tighter and tighter. By the last game, your foot is like in a spastic state, but you're really ready to play because it hurts so much you want to kill people. So that's really the secret. Particularly me. That's really the key to the Celtics playing very aggressive is that your feet hurt so bad from Ray. My last game was Ray so fired up. That was one of the reasons I collared Kurt Rambis. My foot hurt so bad. I couldn't help it. Kurt, I'm just kidding, babe.
Intensity also underscored Houston's game preparations. Rockets like Sampson and Olajuwon sought retribution for college careers without a title.
I went to Final Four 3 years in a row. I didn't win it. And Rob played 4 years in college. He didn't win it, so we both wanted it so bad. So we have to do whatever it takes for us to get it.
Game 2 posed a strong test to the Rockets' resolve. After a season of growth, they were in need of finding themselves in the finals. and Larry Bird was adding to the identity crisis. One Rocket missing in action had been Ralph Sampson, who began to show signs of his all-star talents. That burning emotions, intensity, was fueled by Sampson, who gave Boston their first taste of a Twin Tower offense. The Rockets began to accelerate, then got a little pedal heavy. Rocket mistakes led to a streak of frustration. Each passing error bred impatience. Houston was letting the game slip away.
Yeah, man, that's what happens when you shoot yourself in the foot, man. That's exactly what happens. You shoot yourself in the foot.
All they needed was a little composure. But against the Celtics, these transgressions can prove to be fatal. By the third quarter, Houston's high expectations had gone flat. Houston's ragged execution bore little resemblance to Boston's precision attack. Their assault was anchored by an array of brilliant passing. Boston systematically found the open man and staged a poetic tribute to teamwork. In the middle of it all was Larry Bird, who tallied 31 points and several extraordinary assists. In one half, Bird and company gave the young Rockets a lifetime of experience. Houston's attempt to tie the series was a complete washout. Title hopes depended on a win in the Boston Garden, but instead, Houston became Boston's 40th consecutive home court victim.
I really have some compassion for our ball club because I know they want to look better. I know they can play better. And it's embarrassing to be in a championship series and have one team dominate you the way Boston dominated tonight.
Celtic domination was attributed to Larry Bird, who virtually willed the game in Boston's favor.
We got beat a number of times in the first two games after we had the home court advantage, and that just keeps on coming back in your mind. So game two was very important. When I stepped on the court that night, there's no question in my mind that if we was going to lose that basketball game, it was going to be because I lost it. I was going to take every shot that meant something. I was going to try to make every pass, and I was going to try to make every steal.
Larry kind of leads us, and it's a lot easier to play like that because you know he kind of sets the tone, and it's similar to, like, you know, a flock of geese. You know, if you have one leader, the rest of the geese kind of follow in, and Larry Bird's really our leader.
Larry, he holds down a lot of his talent to benefit the team a lot too, but if you ever see him on that night when he just feels like coming to shooting it.
Sometimes he gets in the fourth quarter and 3 or 4 minutes ago, and everybody will come and say, okay, Larry, it's time to take over. You know, that's the greatest feeling in the world. Here you're playing with some of the best players in the game, and here they come to you and say, okay, it's time to take over the game. And that's a heck of a feeling.
Knowing what to do before everybody else knows what to do. And that's the type of speed he has, and that's what makes him the fastest player in the league.
There's something within me that just says, hey, if you're going to be the best, you got to work at it, and I'm not afraid to work, especially it's something I love to do.
After a third straight MVP season, Bird had his sights on another championship banner.
Larry is a great basketball player. He keeps getting better and better. And when that little picture machine starts going off, he's in a world of his own. And there isn't anybody in the world that's going to stop him. And when he gets it going like that, it's awesome.
But Houston's objective was to bury Bird, not to praise him.
We're down 2-0. I think we can come back because we're going to play 3 games in Houston, and we're going to take it one at a time. I think we can beat them 3 straight in Houston without any question.
Houston, a city perfectly suited for its hometown Rockets. Its 150-year history bears the soul of rebellion. Its modern veneer suggests to be on the leading edge has always been Houston's trademark, and the NBA Finals presented a new challenge. The Rockets' 5-year plan was 2 years ahead of schedule, and they could win a title by beating the old guard at their own game. East met West, and the press prepared for basketball's summit meeting.
Game 3 of the NBA Finals, and the Houston Rockets look to turn the tide after 2 losses in the steamy Boston Garden.
I Houston Rockets ritornano ai confini aria condizionata del Summit di Houston, Texas.
The Rockets own the NBA's second-best home court record, and during the playoffs, they're undefeated in Houston.
The Summit is...
Ain't that guy? He be going crazy. Larry Bird, Larry Bird, Larry Bird. He going crazy. Damn, what's his name, yo? Leave it in the comments. Tell me his name, man.
It's also the site of the 1981 championship series, in which the Boston Celtics endured 2 tough battles on their way to the NBA title.
Home court security served the Rockets from the opening tap. Houston appeared stronger and smoother than they did in the Boston Garden. Houston was now looking like the Western Conference champions. Yet the Rockets were still under the spell of Larry Bird, who kept his team within 3 points at halftime. Houston's trance then deepened in the third quarter as they hypnotically threw the ball away. As in games 1 and 2, the Rockets suffered a third quarter jinx and committed 6 consecutive turnovers.
One more time.
Down by 2 games and trailing in a third, Houston's survival depended on an immediate rally. Accepting the challenge were Sampson and Olajuwon, alias the Twin Towers, the most destructive tandem in the NBA. For the first time in the finals, the Twin Towers were playing as a cohesive unit. Houston was particularly encouraged by the play of Sampson, who used his 7'4" frame to its maximum potential. With 22 rebounds and 24 points, Ralph Sampson vindicated himself from previous criticism. The craft of Boston's front line tried to defuse tower power and hold on to its 11-point lead. But the Celtics grew cautious as passive plays initiated rocket-fast breaks like Sampson's outlet to Mitchell Wiggins. Wiggins' late fourth quarter basket helped Houston grab a 1-point advantage and forced the Celtics to spice up their own game. The lead seesawed back to the Celtics, now less than a minute from a possible 3-game lead. But like a cornered alley cat, Houston scratched and clawed its way into the clear. Houston had the lead by the slimmest of margins and needed one more defensive stand. The Celtics spotted Robert Parrish on a mismatch, but his shot was ruled dead. No infraction was called, as play was stopped by an inadvertent whistle. A jump ball was ruled, and the tap was controlled by Sampson. Houston could now wrap things up. Yet Akeem could only convert on 1 of 2 free throws, and Boston had a 5-second chance to steal the game. But a tenacious Houston defense forced Boston into a critical mistake. Robert Parrish was lured over the sideline, thus ensuring the Rockets their first win of the series. The Rockets came through when they had to, as did their captain, Ralph Sampson.
Well, you saw, I think, probably what the world will see more of as he comes of age.
Even as a schoolboy, Sampson's career was expressed in the future tense. 300 colleges saw Sampson as a building block, with Virginia coming out a 3-time Player of the Year, and the temptation to turn pro blossomed each spring.
The pressure was always the same, do you come out or do you stay? And I would always go back and I ask my mother and father, you know, do you need anything, or can we make it, or, you know, what do you think?
Even though we didn't have that much money, I said, you know, we'll manage this for, and we will continue to be okay, and you do what you want to do.
Sampson elected to savor a college career and graduate on time. Again, he became a building block, this time with the NBA Rockets. Now, with a more demanding schedule, Sampson's personal retreat is back home.
Damn, I ain't gonna lie. That nigga, yo, he tall, bro. He tall. What, 7'4"? Yeah, he's definitely, yo, he's tall.
I look forward to seeing my mom and dad and sisters anytime I can, when they come visit here or when I go back home. And, you know, it's a close-knit community where, you know, if I get back, everybody knows it, and I got a lot of friends there, and we all get together and talk a little bit about the season and whatever have you. And, you know, my mom expects me to come back as soon as the season's over. When you're coming home, you know, when you're leaving.
We treat Ralph as Ralph, not as a basketball player. When he gets back to Virginia, he will be Ralph. And even though I'm not working now, if there needs to be something done in the house, Ralph will do it just like the girls.
Sampson may be considered tomorrow's promise, but he finds contentment in today's accomplishments.
Basketball is a fun sport, and I think I've achieved a lot of things in it, and I want to achieve a lot more, and I'm having fun doing it. And as long as I'm having fun, then I'll continue to play.
The Rockets' fortunes sharply contrasted with the Houston economy. 2/3 of the oil wells were silent, and property values were withering away. These grim times found solace in Rocket Mania.
The future is here. The future is now. We're proud of Houston, and we're proud of our Rockets.
The people here in Houston are so hungry for a winner that it's just contagious.
Rockets koozies, 2 for $3.
I got 1 for 8, 2 for 16, 3 for 24. How many do you need?
Houston's hard-hit dollar was well invested in their basketball team. The Rockets were the city's best therapy to uplift sagging hopes.
Rocket Mania is crazy. I mean, everyone is thrilled to death that the Rockets are here at the championship, hoping to get it, and we're right behind them.
You know, when I go to the grocery store or things like that, there's always people coming up to me saying, good job and good luck, and things like that. They're really excited, and they're behind us 100%.
Beat Boston! Beat Boston! Beat Boston! Beat Boston!
Looking for a series tie, Rocket Mania thundered in Game 4. 21 first-half points gave Houston an advantage at intermission until their customary third-quarter slide. A quick Celtic burst punctured Rocket momentum, and Houston needed to stop the leak.
Defense is a common denominator among all great players and championship teams. And if you're going to get there, defense is going to do it.
In a sport fashioned by offensive artistry, defense is a discipline of exacting measure. Mitchell Wiggins and Rodney McRae were two Rockets attuned to its rigid demands. They frustrated Celtic rhythm with unglamorous but essential play. Their timely scoring also validated Bill Fitch's master plan. Wiggins and McRae were unsung heroes, willing to stand in the shadow of the Twin Towers. Now they were the pair who revitalized the Rockets. A game of scintillating give and take was condensed into the fourth quarter. Neither team gained more than a three-point advantage as Boston stood firm by its grit and composure. Larry Bird was given the freedom to create and use his splendid court vision. He often found Robert Parrish and Dennis Johnson, who paced the Celtics scoring. Houston countered with its inside dominance, restirring the chemistry that melted the champion Lakers. Now it was being rammed down the Celtics' throats. Pressure mounted in the summit, but Bird and Bill Walton had the antidote. Walton re-entered a tied game with 2:39 remaining and distracted Houston's bird-watching defense.
Danny into Walton. Walton hauls it back out to Bird. Three-point attempt. Sweat! A three-point field goal by Larry Bird.
A 104-101 edge made Houston think in terms of three, but a heads-up Rodney McRae pared the lead to a point. Houston threatened to tie the series. The Rockets' job was to allow Boston just one-shot opportunities, and they failed only once.
DJ fakes, starts to go, goes driving in, lays it up, no good. Walton, a flying rebound, lays it in. What a play by Bill Walton.
He just went in there, took the ball away, and put up a reverse layup.
Time still remained for a comeback, but Houston panicked. The Rockets squandered their final four possessions, putting their perfect playoff home court record to rest. The 106-103 victory put Boston within a game of the title. The outcome was ensured by the hustle of Bill Walton, a resurrected player and the embodiment of a winner.
I was teasing him. I said, you know, I can't believe I idolized you because I bust you every day in practice. I said, who'd you play against back then?
As a cornerstone of UCLA's championship dynasty, Bill Walton is among the greatest college players ever. He followed his predecessor, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, as a franchise maker and drew attention to his colorful lifestyle. Walton brought Portland a title in 1977, and a year later was named the league's MVP.
Had a very successful collegiate career and a successful early pro career.
Yeah, we got to find some of his highlights, man. Definitely got to do some Bill Walton highlights for sure.
Then all of a sudden things sort of fell apart with a lot of injuries.
Walton's prime slipped by as he played just 14 games in 4 seasons. He wallowed with the last place Clippers until a call to Red Auerbach put him back on the winning track.
I looked into his eyes and I saw a fierce pride and fierce determination.
He came in town a few days early, and the first place that he stopped was at my house. And that said a lot about the person. You know, he wanted to make sure that I didn't feel threatened, make sure that he's going to be received very well.
Walton appears as an ideal Celtic, grateful for another chance in the finals.
From being told that I would be lucky to even walk without a limp to being back in the NBA Finals, I mean, it's just it's a tremendous accomplishment.
By Game 5, life under the microscope was beginning to show its strain.
I think the only thing I haven't been asked is I'm ready to go on vacation.
The time.
How much did Larry Bird weigh at birth?
How's my ribs? No, that's not it.
Would you like to start tonight, Greg?
You know, about probably my eyebrows or something.
Conditioned to the media circus was Bill Fitch, Houston's philosophic head coach.
Coaching is important. If I didn't feel it was important, I probably wouldn't like being a coach. But I learned a long time ago that the players and what they do together and how well they perform together, that's where the ball game is going to be won.
You know you got a 5 or a 2, so you can go into it off the dribble and you can keep the guy concentrating on you, so you got a chance to drive a little bit.
Fitch started with the expansion Cavaliers, where his workaholic habits lifted Cleveland to respectability.
You can learn from losing as well as from winning. And I've always said, though, you don't have to lose quite as often as you do with an expansion team to learn the lessons you have to learn. But Cleveland was a good experience from the standpoint of building a ball club and actually learning the ins and outs of the NBA.
In 1979, Fitch moved to Boston, he built the Celtics' current nucleus and in 2 seasons took them from the cellar to a title.
You're one rebound away from letting a smile on my face. I swear, if you get a rebound, I'll smile.
If I ever have another player like Larry Bird, then how can you be so well blessed? And to have him as a friend is even a bigger blessing. And to have had Robert Parrish and Kevin McHale in their rookie years as Celtics, to have Danny Ainge come from baseball and go through what he did and watch him develop, I enjoy those things. I don't let it get in the way of the love and the attraction I have for my own ball club at this time.
But on the brink of elimination, there was no place for Celtic endearment, especially amidst the deadly stare of Boston's top assassin.
This is a voodoo thing. It's supposed to make you rich. That's why the green has to do with money. And they dress these things up. Like if they could dress this up with a little gold hair and a 33 on it. Lay it on him.
Voodoo may explain Game 5's unusual turn of events. Bird was exorcised to a mortal 17 points, while Ralph Sampson played like a man possessed. By the second quarter, Sampson's wrath was fully unleashed.
And now Kite has grabbed Sampson from behind.
Ralph Sampson became a towering inferno and the central figure in a bench-clearing brawl. He was ejected for battling Jerry Seasting, a Boston reserve standing 15 inches shorter. Sampson's early exit looked like an ominous prelude for all the Rockets. Desperate times demand desperate measures, and Jim Peterson was the solution. Throughout the playoffs, Peterson had teamed splendidly with Akeem Olajuwon. Now he asserted himself as Houston's third tower.
Here's Peterson with the offensive rebound.
The determined Peterson threw around his bulk and undercut the Celtics with 12 rebounds. Boston's other problem came from above. They encountered a squadron of rocket ball squatters led by Akeem's record-tying 8 block shots. Shorn of Sampson's might, the Rockets launched a more reckless attack. With a rejuvenated fast break, Houston grabbed control by halftime and refused to wilt in the third quarter. By opening up a 25-point lead, Houston forced Boston to surrender. Boston's demise most satisfied Robert Reed. 5 years ago, Reed saw the Celtics win the title on his home court, and now guaranteed there wouldn't be a repeat performance. With a 111-96 win, Reed led Houston's drive for a 6th game.
He showed us he had a lot of character. He said they had to win Game 5 down there, and we partied in the arena, and he came out and had a great basketball game. They lost Ralph Sampson, there's no question. Robert Reed was really the leader of that team.
We put a banner up saying that we are Midwest Division champions. We put in a banner up saying we're Western Conference champions. And we want to put a banner up that says NBA champions.
The outcome, a title would be decided in Boston, a city that takes exception to what seems rightfully theirs.
Watch this, the Rockets are gonna fall tomorrow. Make it, Mick, I love it. And Sampson, they're gonna crush him. 3 for an all on the Celtic green lettuce here. We're gonna kill Houston. Here you go, this is Ralph Sampson. Right here, big old Ralphie boy. And we got good old Akimo right here. Here you go, Akimo. It's all over, pal.
This is what the Celtics are going to do to the Houston Rockets.
visiting Rockets return to the most uncomfortable guest house in sports. The gallows awaited Ralph Sampson, the villain of Game 5's melee. But Sampson could not allow the Garden scorn to get the best of him. Never before had he been closer to the honor of being called champion.
All the way around, okay? We'll tell the coaches about the timeouts. Any questions? Have a good one.
Sampson became the immediate prey of Kevin McHale. As Boston's long-arm gunslinger, McHale bagged 21 first-half points and advised Houston to run for cover. However, the cold steel will of Akeem Olajuwon would not be denied. Olajuwon led an 11-point Rocket spurt, and his 3 consecutive steals suggested he had Bill Walton's number. Yet the big redhead remained in KC's lineup and flexed his veteran muscle. Walton helped to turn the tide for the Celtics, as did another former playoff MVP, Dennis Johnson.
Dennis. Don't be lazy on him. Work his heel hard. Gotta keep him from getting it, yeah.
Now Ainge is on Lloyd.
Summoning his great defensive skills, Dennis Johnson blanketed Houston's best outside threat. He dogged Robert Reed like a bloodhound and then threw him off the championship scent.
Dennis Johnson is the best basketball player I've ever played with. It's the biggest thrill I've ever had playing with the individual, and I'm very proud to be a team member of DJ's because he's made me a great basketball player, and it's because of the way he plays. And DJ's probably more intense about winning than I am. He just goes about it a little bit different.
Few men can match Johnson's reputation as a great money player. But with a season-long quest within reach, Boston turned to just one man to bring home the gold. Larry Bird played with extra zest, perhaps avenging last year's title loss in game number 6. He now looked to hoist another flag to the Garden's banner-studded roof.
Goes in a three-point land. Hold up a three-pointer. He said, here, I want to put a pin in the balloon right now.
By the middle of the fourth quarter, Houston had the chance.
They swing it around to Walton on the right side, off the glass. Bill Walton makes it a 28-point lead. Pandemonium loose in this garden. Pandemonium right now.
The game clock was of no significance as the Boston Garden bellowed a tone of finality. After posting the league's best record and a near-perfect mark at home, the basketball world was finally swathed in a cloak of green and white. The NBA could boast its most familiar announcement. The Boston Celtics were the world champions. Painfully, the young Rockets accepted the promise of tomorrow as they sat in basketball's most hallowed league. Special tribute befitted Celtic captain Larry Bird. Not once did he falter, nor his intensity diminish. He was Boston's guiding light, and the final's unanimous choice as MVP. 15 times had Celtic fans stormed the parquet floor. 15 times had they raised their fists high. But number 16 just might be the sweetest one yet. Sweetest.
Oh, that was good, man. Damn, I just learned a whole lot about this whole Sweet 16, 19. That was a good series, though. But shout out to Houston, though, for getting there, too, and making it. You know, shout out, gotta give credit to them, too. You know, definitely got to give credit to Houston. So I'm pretty sure I know they gave Boston a little toughness, you know. But it seemed like Boston was really always just killing them through the whole thing, though, from with the documentary, you know. But yeah, man, that was definitely good. I definitely got another documentary coming. Yeah, definitely got a documentary coming. If y'all could find that interview of Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, David Letterman, I can't find it. I might have to react to somebody else doing it. But if y'all can find that sometime, man, just, you know, leave a link to me, send a link to my email at thatphillyboynow@gmail.com. But yeah, man, I hope y'all enjoyed this, man. And, you know, I'll keep it short and sweet. And I'm out of this joint, man. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that like button. Really appreciate y'all. And yeah, that's really about it, man. I just hope y'all enjoyed this, man. I really enjoyed this. And definitely got some more documentaries coming. But on that note, I'm out of here, y'all. I love y'all. Peace.